The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. What's up, y'all? I'm back, man. It's been a long, long time. Shout out to God, shout out to my family, shout out to my support system. I love y'all so much. Quarter one, it's been a lot going on, from the speaking engagements to the youth summits, as well as these panel discussions, y'all. So a lot has been going on. I just want to say thank you to all the organizers that have me a part of their events. Shout outs to everybody that follows me, likes, comments, subscribes, donates, their money, their time, their energy, their effort, to everything that's going on in the community, because community starts with you and me. So empowering our youth through positive words and positive actions, that's what it's all about, being who I needed when I was younger, but most importantly, being who God called me to be. Man, it's been a lot going on. So just a recap of quarter one. We had the Youth Summit in February. That was an amazing event. We had over 200 kids at Glen Arden Community Center. So shout outs to everybody that came out to that event. From the mayor to the city council, to the nonprofit organizations, the mentoring groups, everybody that was there. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, because it was a day of empowerment, a day of impact, a day of resources, a day of love, community, and all of that, man. We had a great panel. Shout outs to our panelists. Shout outs to our facilitators, Miss Shalise Williams and Miss Joanna Harden. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all are true soldiers in this community work, and you guys are greatly appreciated. Shout outs to Kimberly Marshall, my community mentor. Shout outs to Jeffrey Young, my speaking mentor as well. I appreciate y'all. Shout outs to my whole entire village, man, and my whole entire team, because you already know the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. That happened in February. That was the top of February. Then we had the teen lock-in that happened out Carlin Manor. So shout outs to Good Intentions for having me be a part of that event. Just giving insight on, relationships, because the youngins, I ain't gonna lie, life be life, and they trying to figure out ways to, navigate and go through X, Y, Z, and ABC. So just, being a male presence to, kind of share my insight, my stories, and what I'm saying, it's a lot going on. So it was really great to, have that space for them and just have them be so attentive. So shout outs to Good Intentions once again for that. March was my birthday month, so it was a lot going on. I want to say shout outs to Shalise and shout outs to Cell Spitfire and Tunnel Vision. They had a phenomenal Guns Down gun violence prevention weekend that happened in Anne Arundel County. It was very, very beautiful. So shout outs to that community center in Severn. And they also had a celebrity basketball game with the likes of Wallow, Gilly, that girl Mimi, Shiggy, Lou Young, Stunner for Vegas, so many other local celebrities and major celebrities as well, to bring that awareness as well. And then they had the Day of Impact as well that happened on my birthday, March the 9th. And I was able to be a part of that event by sharing some poetry, just hearing what the youngest had to say, and just being a resource, being who I needed when I was younger. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of that event. Also, thank you Cell Spitfire for allowing me to be on Do It For The Love podcast. That episode is out, episode 19, so y'all could definitely check that out as well. Like I said, so March was definitely a great vibe month, one of those months that definitely goes down in the books for sure. April, man, shout outs to Creative Suland for having me, man. Shout outs to Kidpreneur, being a part of their event. Shout outs to the organizers. I was able to be on their community panel, talking about the community issues, harnessing the next generation among the likes of other like-minded individuals and nonprofit organizations. So shout outs to them for that. Shout outs to Project Black for having me at Suland Community Center, a part of their Yaz Fest, which is the Young Adult Success event as well. So like I said, man, there's a lot going on. And then of course to close the month of April out, shout outs to Vision Quest, Johnny Biggs for having his Dapper Dance event and I was a proud recipient. I was nominated for Community Trailblazer of the Year, and then I received the Community Trailblazer of the Year award April 20th at his event. So I just want to say shout outs to all the other men, shout outs to all the nominees. It was a beautiful event, a wonderful experience. So shout outs to the attendees and everybody doing that. Shout outs to Johnny Biggs for creating a safe space for men. Not only to fellowship, but also to be recognized for their work as well. So I just want to say shout outs to everybody that was a part of that event as well. Shout outs to Miss Ivy for the recognition, and shout outs to Governor Wes Moore for that acknowledgement as well. It's kind of sort of surreal, where it's like, man, you got stamped by the governor, but when God sees you, he rewards you. So just keep grinding and keep working for anybody that's out there that's wondering if it can happen for them. Because if it can happen for me, it can definitely happen for you as well. And then shout outs to Dion for having me at Coppin State be a part of the Youth Equity Summit that happened April the 27th. It was great to see the resources provided for the kids in Baltimore City, and just to hear, all the great things that's happening in Baltimore, and how many youth are engaged and want to do bigger and better things. So empowering them through positive words, positive actions, that's what this is about, and that's what we're going to continue to do. So like I said, the work ain't just in the DMV, the work ain't just in PG, it's all over Maryland, all over the world. So if you got a gift, don't play around with your gift, because guess what, God gave you that gift for a reason. All right, so that was just a quick recap of Q1, but the main focus and what I want to get into today is unity in the community. And what does unity in the community look like for you and me, right? Or what is being a neighbor to your neighbor, right? It's a lot going on, y'all. And what I mean by a lot going on, we got social media, we got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you got the video games, you got all this influence. And I guess my question to the teenagers is it really hard being a teen? Because, you might have your mom, you might have your dad, you may have your village, but like everything that's going on right now, from your mental to your spiritual to your physical to your emotional and your social, like, is definitely in question. I'm seeing crime happen at an alarming rate. I've been talking to, some of my homies, and my homies are like, man, the youngest been wilding. They crashing out. Like, what's really going on? I'm trying to figure out what's really going on too, because, when it comes to being in school and doing your homework and following instructions and doing what you're supposed to do is kind of hard, because, you got influence. So for your friends and your peers, it's important to know who your peers and your friends are. It's important to be a neighbor to your neighbor, right? Like, if you see something going on and it's alarming to you, you're not a snitch for speaking your mind, right? You're not a snitch for speaking up. And I think that, in the culture, it's like, oh man, he snitched, or he told on me, or she told on me, she did this in the third, man, they doing too much. Like, if you see something, say something. Like, for real, like, if you see something, say something. Like, for me, I came up, grew up in Hyattsville, went to private school. Shout out to St. Michael's. I went to private school. That was in Silver Spring. And I could say, as an early youth, I was in a structured environment, right? So being in a structured environment, being around teachers that, cared, students that cared, my classmates that cared, and everything like that, and that's all great. Graduated from, St. Michael's, went to Archbishop Carroll for a year. Shout out to Archbishop Carroll. I went there for a year. And then I transferred and I went to Charles Herbert Flowers High School. Now, I would say the biggest pivot from private school to public school is a whole nother ball game. I went from an environment to where teachers cared to where some teachers did not care. Some students went to class, some students did not go to class. So you have to understand the pivot and the balance, but you have to make your own decision. See, Charles Herbert Flowers High School, it made me the man that I am today because I learned how to deal with corporate America. See, the kids, they learning at a younger age now. They adapted and adjusted. They go to school, they probably walk to school, and then on one corner they see something good. On another corner they see something bad. And they got to realize, they got to pick quick, fast, in a hurry, which one is it going to be? Am I going to do something good or am I going to do something bad? And the influence is what they get outside. Once they walk outside their house, all right, you know what I'm saying, now it's on. You know what I'm saying? Now what I gotta really do? How am I gonna do this? Am I gonna roll with them or am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do my work or am I not gonna do my work? So they're making decisions and they're growing up faster than they supposed to because of, you know, them being in survival mode or them doing all these things. And we gotta really meet them where they are and take them where they deserve. So having these tough conversations with them, right? I know that they're popular apps, right, on Instagram and TikTok. And we see a lot of things happen, right? It's like a form of journalism. We see things happen in real time. Curfew, I don't know if y'all are aware, National Harbor got a curfew now for the kids past 6 o'clock. If they outside past 6 o'clock without adult supervision, you know, people are getting fined for it. Is it going to stop the crime? Crime is still going to happen, but at the same time, we got to put these resources in place because these kids have to learn how to read. These kids have to learn how to write. These kids going to have to learn how to do math. These kids going to have some type of life skills to deal with corporate America because it is alarming and it is scary. So pivoting and saying that, right? Graduated from Charles Herbert Flowers High School, went to Bowie State University, got my degree in communications. I never thought that I would be in the position I am now by using my voice and creating a platform. But the reason why I'm creating this platform and I created this platform is because we needed more positive stories. The way I watch the news, I seen you watch the news, you see killings, you see you know, bad things happening. So we have to create that change, y'all, and it starts with you and me. The music that we listen to, I get it. You know, for the OGs, the baby boomers, you know, Gen X, millennials, I get it because we older, right? But we got to realize at the same time, we understand the balance, or we trying to figure it out too. But Gen Z, the babies behind us, they may not know. So we got to pass on the knowledge that we received to them. We got to embrace being the bridge, because if we don't embrace being the bridge, then they ain't gonna have nothing to walk on. So my question is, what's youth without you? Because you are in that equation. What did your younger self need? Did you need the guidance? Did you need the resources? Did you need the structure? What is it that you needed? Because that's what the youngins need now. They're crying out for help. You see youngins nowadays, they playing the video games on Instagram. They're doing all the challenges, this, that, and the third, but they just need time. The music to me is alarming a little bit because all they know is, you know, drugs, money, violence, hypersexual music. You know, you got the young girls listening to Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, and there's nothing wrong with those women, right? Because I'm not knocking the art, but I'm just saying when it comes to like the balance, what happened to the Lauryn Hill, what happened to the Rhapsody, what happened to you know, that feel good music, the Queen Latifah, you know what I'm saying? And then for the guys out there, you know, it's a lot of free car music. That's what they call it in the DMV, free car music, right? So, you know, the NBA YoungBoy type or the crash out music where, you know, it's promoting the wrong messages, so we don't have that positivity out there. So what I used to say, or what I still say, is like, you know, we got too many young boys, not enough J. Coles. And what I mean by that is just like, you don't gotta be gangster to fit in. Like, gangster is really taking care of your family. Gangster is making sure that you're available to do something positive, to take a stand for the right things, to be a leader, to be a pillar in your community, to be a stable in your community, as opposed to watching somebody else do the wrong thing. Correct somebody, you know what I'm saying, and direct somebody on the right path. For me, like I said, coming up, I was hard-headed. I didn't like being told what to do or what to say at times, but I had to navigate through that, and that's what mentors like Kimberly Marshall, like Jeffrey Young, you know, as I became an adult, I realized like the value of my teachers and professors. So shout outs to Mr. Bowes, my guidance counselor when I was at Flowers. We still have a great relationship. Shout outs to Dr. Thomas, one of my favorite professors at Bowie State University, and graduating from Bowie State University, I learned a lot. So I could count on my hands how many teachers have been there for me as well, as far as Mr. Ribzik as well, one of my 8th grade teachers at St. Michael's, Mr. Amen, Sister Mary Raymond, God rest her soul, as well, Miss Jones as well, rest her soul, the principal of Flowers High School when I was there, class of 2010, as well. Mr. Crumb, my administrator there too. So like I said, having those relationships with those people really made me who I am today. So you got to start building relationships with people. Realize that everybody doesn't want help, and it's okay for people not to want help, but you got to look at what you can do in the situation, right? So like for me, what I struggle with at times is I be wanting to help everybody. Like if you want to win, I want you to win, right? I want to win too. I feel like tables are built so that way people can win, execute, do the things that they want to do. But everybody can't sit at your table if everybody's not bringing value to you. So reevaluate your circle. Realize who's around you and why they're around you, because there's reasons for it. People come in for the reason, the season, the lifetime, and I'm pretty sure we all heard that before. But that, that's really authentic. That's a bold statement, right? So I want people to realize that too, man. And like the crime that's going on right now is because a lot of people are just lost. A lot of people think it's fun. Youngins is playing GTA, youngins is playing Call of Duty. They grabbing these AR-15s, they grabbing these guns, and they going crazy in the streets, and they feeling like, okay, if they sit there and shoot somebody, then, you know what I'm saying, they're going to come back to life, not understanding that life ain't no video game. Like, you sit there and you do that, like, you making a decision that you ain't coming back from, so you got to think before you act on anything. This shirt right here says the streets don't love you, and they really don't. They don't play fair. The streets don't love you, the streets don't love me. That's why they made sidewalks. The sidewalks are other options, other opportunities for people to do their thing legally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you want some money, go apply for a job. Fill out that job application. Do what you need to do, because guess what? It's a lot of people that are working hard, doing these things, buying these things, and wanting to live their life. And I'm not saying that you can't live your life too, but just do it the right way. Stand on your principles, stand on your morals. Like y'all say, stand on business, big SOB. Make sure that y'all stand on business, make sure you handle your business. But in order to do that, make God your business and keep him at the center of everything. That's very, very important. I'm nothing without God. I'm nothing without family. I'm nothing without my support system. And I want to tap into the music because the music is very alarming. Like when I came up, I was listening to Biggie, Pop, Rakim, Nas, Jay-Z, and like all these individuals, of course, they're rappers and, they're talking about the streets and they talking about, where they from and how they carry themselves, and it's cool. But a lot of them evolved over time. So I'm saying that to say that you as an individual are gonna have to evolve too. It's not cool being in the same place. Like, it's May right now, right? So a month from now would be June. Or later on this year, going into 2025, you don't want to be the same person that you were in 2024 or 2023 or years prior to that. Like every year should be some type of growth, some type of elevation, some type of change for the better. But what I realize is change is uncomfortable. It's not attractive. It's not the right thing, right? So, but it's necessary for you to grow. Flow, be, and become the person that you told yourself that you wanted to become. So don't be afraid of change. My circle is very small. People that know me, my circle is very, very small, but it's small because everybody in my circle adds value. Everybody in my circle got different gifts. Everybody in my circle got different talents. But we come together and we utilize our talents and help each other out. If I didn't start doing motivational speaking with a motivational video on Instagram July 5th, 2020, and then starting the podcast November 6th, 2020, I wouldn't be in this position right now. But God was telling me to do it. So I'm telling you, whatever your gift, your dream, your goal, whatever you want to accomplish, whatever you sitting on, today's the day that you put that in motion. Today's the day that you actually act on it. Because guess what? The sooner you act on it, the more people you're going to realize that was attached to your assignment and your purpose. Now I realize there was so many other people that was attached to my vision, my purpose, and everything like that. And creating a safe space for, you know, everybody that's came on the show. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's came to a community event, I appreciate y'all because it's an experience, and I want people to realize that it costs absolutely nothing to be the reason why somebody smiles, and to empower someone through your words and through your actions, showing up for somebody financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, personally, like however you show up for somebody, just make sure that you show up. You know what I'm saying? And it could get hard. I worry a lot, right? My anxiety plays games at times, but I had to realize that. And the reason how I realized that is because I had to do some inner work. And the light work is easy when the shadow work is done. So whatever you dealing with in the shadows, whatever tough battles you going through, just know that you're not alone. All right? And we're gonna make the DMV a better place. I'm gonna keep advocating. I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do. But I need y'all help. I need donations, right, for these events. We got Dave & Buster's coming up, and we're taking 50 kids there. Shout outs to Dare to Be Different. Shout outs to Reality Check Mentoring for partnering and making our 4th annual experience the experience, because guess what? We're taking, like I said, 50 kids there, and we're going to make sure that each and every single year we engage more and more youth, because it's about the impact and creating these safe spaces, prevention, right? And resources and workshops and things of that nature as well. And then we have our back to school drive that's also coming up, so be on the lookout for that as well. But these events, they take time, they take energy, they take money, they take funding. So I'm challenging individuals that want to get involved. I'm not saying that you got to physically pull up, but if you want to, if you know people that can donate, you know, items or time or money or things of that nature to help make the community a better place, let's really, really do that. I know a lot of us, we talk about the same thing over and over again. Man, these young is wildin'. They won't put the guns down. They always fighting. They always doing this. Why they chasing these relationships? Why they listen to this type of music? Why they got a Nike ski on in 90-degree weather? Why they sitting there trying to carjack somebody? Do they know how to read? Do they know how to write? What's going on with them? Well, like I said, in order to save them, we have to be vulnerable and real with ourselves. Because guess what? We were once like them too. There was something wrong with us too. There was something wrong with us too. I don't know what it was. Maybe a screw was missing in a light bulb or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, there was something wrong with us. So we have to acknowledge where we went wrong and let them know, like, it's cool. Because like I said, I ain't perfect. And you ain't got to be perfect to be amazing. But going into this culture, right, because I know I kind of sort of, it's not sort of. I definitely got sidetracked because the music, right? The messages in the music for the ladies out there, I'm going to go with the ladies first and then I'm going to go to the fellas. Like, the notion of selling your body is unattractive, right? And you don't got to do that. You can be like the ladies out there, like you're beautiful in your own right. You're unique in your own right. You're dope, you're a vibe, and you're amazing in your own right. You don't have to feel like you have to conform to, what your standard is your standard. So you know your standards and know your boundaries. And same thing with the men, like, you don't have to be gangster and feel like, oh yeah, I'm on the block thugging. I'm on the block doing this. I'm on the block doing that. Like, if you're on the block doing something positive, hopefully it's hollering at the youngins and letting them know right from wrong, or trying to do, some type of community work. I know, people feel like, oh yeah, I gotta do a good deed, but it's your heart posture at the end of the day. Know why you're doing something, right? It's not, is it about the views and the likes, or is it about the need and the love? And I ain't gonna lie, when I first started, I struggled with that because I wanted to be liked by everybody. It's like, who didn't, right? But at the same time, when I focused and I channeled on the needs and the wants of the community, then I realized who genuinely was there, who always supported, who always saw it. So my heart posture changed, my intentions changed, my circle of friends changed, and I realized I needed to be challenged and held accountable in all aspects of my life, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And shout outs to Zion Church. Shout outs to Off Script because spiritually I've been in a great space with some accountability partners in which we're helping our youth get closer to God, each and every Sunday, and just understanding that experience. So for the parents out there that are looking, to, find things for the youth to do, middle schoolers and high schoolers, I advise you to check out Zion Church and check out Off Script because there's no experience like that. And I'm not saying that only because I'm a part of it, but I'm just saying it because it's a game changer and it's an eye opener for you guys as well. And we need more resources for real, for real. I remember when the rec center was a rec center and, people was playing basketball, but you had different rooms where different things was going on. Nowadays, I go to the rec, everybody playing ball. They sign their name in and they playing ball, but all the other rooms is empty. So, let's start utilizing these rooms. Shout outs to Parks and Rec. Shout outs to all these places that got all this space. But let's start getting people in there that's going to be able to help these kids with writing, reading, math, life skills, learning how to be a leader and all that. I'm saying all that because it's like, hey, if you're looking for that person, I'm the person. Like, let's really work. Let's really lock in and do what we need to do. And, it's okay not to be okay. I say that because, times you're gonna feel like I'm not doing enough, or am I doing the most? Do I understand my purpose? But your purpose keeps you up at night. The thing that you constantly be thinking about, wanting to move on, wanting to change, that's your purpose. For me, I was rapping back then. It's a difference between J-Flow back then and the J-Flow back now. The J-Flow back then, I was wilding. I was, making music, performing in, clubs, things like that. Traveled, did the Fillmore Howard Theater, South by Southwest, AC3. I had great people, aligned to that. But then I transformed and elevated and shifted. And God was like, hey, look, man, I want you to share your story. So I embraced that. And I realized that a mixtape that I did in 2014 called Grind Hard, Dream Big became more than a mixtape. Resurfaced back 6 years later to 2020 and making it a podcast. And now 4 years later, actually coming up on a 4-year anniversary of speaking and events and the podcast itself, it became a lifestyle. So if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. Whatever idea it is, I just need you to give birth to your idea. Take that step today. Whatever it looks like. I don't care what they said. I don't care what they do. At the end of the day, it's on you. Pastor Randy, this past Sunday, he had a message that really resonated with me. And it was me versus me. So it's you versus you. What are you going to do to make this world a better place? How are you going to change the world to make it a better place? That's my call to action with everything that's going on. And we ain't got to be beefing. We ain't got to see eye to eye. It's okay to disagree with people's points. It's okay to disagree with, with the things like that. But we can agree to disagree. But we know one thing. We know that right is right, wrong is wrong. So let's take more accountability. Let's show more love. Shout outs to the educators. Shout outs to everybody that works with youth. I see you. I appreciate you. I love you. I salute y'all because it's hard dealing with youth and their circumstances, from their situations, because we don't really know their situations, but creating that safe space to get to understand them. And I'm gonna say this also. All the kids aren't bad, they're misunderstood. It's quick to call them bad based off of their actions, their behaviors, things that they say. But I believe that a lot of them are misunderstood because a lot of people have not had a conversation, a courageous conversation with the individual to understand what needs need to be met for that child. I think the reason why youngins rock with me is because I create that safe space for them and I let them be them. And I'm going to continue to lead and inspire and motivate through positive words and positive actions. And I know it wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about this, but where I stand at on the Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation is two different things. Yeah, so like I said, my take on the Drake and Kendrick situation, like I said, let the art speak for itself. Let the music speak for itself. J. Cole is not a sucker for apologizing. He's not, a loser or anything like that, or less of a man for apologizing. Because sometimes what doesn't sit well in your spirit doesn't sit well in your spirit, and sometimes you got to choose peace over chaos. And he ain't want to participate in the chaos. And he had, mutual respect for both Drake and Kendrick. And like I said, like sometimes you may have mutual respect for, individuals, and every situation doesn't require you to be in that situation, and every action does not require reaction. So, like I said, I took my hat off to J. Cole. I took my hat off to, like I said, Drake and Kendrick. I salute all three of them. I still think it's a big three, regardless if people want to separate from their own opinions, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, of course. But at the end of the day, I do believe that when it comes down to it, music is music. The people going to speak. Let the people speak. Let the art speak for itself. And there's some things that we need to clean up. But I feel like in a world full of hate, the way that you cure it is by spreading the love. So I challenge y'all to spread the love. That goes for the fellas and the women. You know what I'm saying? The men and the women. Let's start spreading the love. Let's start empowering each other. Let's start uplifting each other. Let's start bringing that unity back into the community, and being on that vibe where, it was like back in the day where you would have, the cookouts and the kids outside having a good time, engaged, and you had the families out there having a good time as well. And we have to understand our boundaries too. So if the parents need help, hey, let's help the parents, because they may need, mentoring programs for their kids. Let's find that for them. Let's find the resources for them, because guess what? It may be hard. I can't relate, but working with a lot of youth, sometimes I be feeling like one too. I be having kids call me OG, but I'm like, man, I'm in my 30s. What you talking about OG for? But I get it at the end of the day. So let's be a helping hand, y'all. Let's really be the change that we want to see. Let's really be who we needed when we were younger, for sure. And my motivation to anybody out there, for like I said, the youth before, I'm going to say it again, the only ops you have are opportunities, and they haven't been presented to you yet, but they will be presented to you. And just know that you can, you will, you must. You're dope, you're a vibe, you're amazing. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. All you have to do is take the step towards your dream, your goal, whatever you want to accomplish, and understand your boundaries and understand your standards, all right? Because once you set your boundaries and you set your standards and what you're willing to tolerate and what you're willing to accept from day in and day out, then you're going to be good, and you're going to keep elevating, you're going to keep winning. Because guess what? You're a winner, and you don't even believe it yet. But I'm rooting for you. So have a great day on purpose. Lock in, and you already know, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Hey, kids, stay in school. Remember, no cap, no gown. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Let's get it, let's get it, let's go.